Hi everyone, I'm here with Brian Benz out of Las Vegas. And if you don't know me, my name is Rory. I'm a cloud advocate focusing on Java, and we're here for Learn TV to interview one of our cloud advocates, Brian. Brian, tell me a little bit about yourself and your role at Microsoft.
Sure. So I'm a cloud advocate, as you mentioned. I've been at Microsoft for about 8 years now. I started in a group called the Microsoft Open Tech, actually. It was called Microsoft Open Technologies. It was actually a separate company from Microsoft, but still on the Microsoft campus and functioning as a Microsoft division for various reasons. But moving ahead from that, after that group was absorbed into Microsoft, I was in the engineering group for a while, working as a PM for various Java topics. And now I work on a team called Scalable Content. And we're working with events that are specifically to do with Microsoft. And over the years, I've used my Java background for various things. I was actually hired at MS Open Tech for my Java background. And they had some tough questions in my interview, like what's the difference between Java and JavaScript? And there's a little bit of a shortage of Java expertise here at Microsoft, so they really needed some help there, and that's where I came in for the first few years. It was interesting working with the early days at Microsoft, having conversations and discussions with different people about what we can do with Java at Microsoft. There's a lot of opportunity, and talking to customers and partners and even people internally at Microsoft, there was just a huge amount of interest in Java once you brought up the topic. Before that, no one really thought about, maybe we should have Java in our cloud. Back in the day when I started, it was called Windows Azure. So that was a little bit of a challenge to overcome. But over time, we had, along with other open source technologies, Java brought into the main fold, because if you're going to run a real cloud and really support open source technologies, you have to be able to run Java, among many other things, on your cloud. You can't just run Windows and .NET. So that's kind of the way it started. It's evolved since then. And as you know, we're here with a full Java team and Java efforts that are going on at Microsoft now. So
Great, thanks. So recently you were voted in as a Java champion, a really great accomplishment. Could you tell me a little bit about the Java Champion program and what you plan to do with that privilege?
Sure. So yeah, I was very honored to be nominated by a Java champion named Arun Gupta, who used to work at AWS, currently works at Apple, a few other places, a very prominent member of the Java community, and went through the nomination process, which actually takes quite a bit of time, and there's a lot of rigor, and you have to actually produce a lot of backwards documentation, which actually was an interesting trip down memory lane. I dug up some videos and things that I hadn't even remembered were out there, and was able to share them with the group. But yeah, the process itself is a little bit complicated, and there's only about 300 Java champions in the world, and it's a honor that you get for life. So I'll be a Java champion for life, and it's really, really great to be able to interact with the community and be accepted into the community. It was really quite heartwarming to see who had voted for me and who supported me through the whole process. You know a lot of people, you see them at events and things, but having them, make an effort and support you during that process of confirming you as a Java champion is really, really nice. So, yeah.
Okay, great. So tell me a little bit about your plans going forward. So obviously there's some expectations, like when they give you the Nobel Peace Prize, they say, here's a prize, go and actually do something with it though. So tell me a little bit about the events and the plans that you have with your accomplishment.
Sure. Well, let's fast forward to where I'm CEO of Microsoft. And I'll keep that on the side for now. But in the more immediate term, yeah, I'm looking at promoting, using my Java background, leveraging my Java background to promote different technologies and services on Azure. For example, for now, I'm working on a series called DevOps for Java Shops. It's going to be, yes, specifically, it seems like, you know, most of the Java documentation and videos and things I see out there are really focused around coding and different techniques for coding and optimizing your code and delivering microservices and converting to microservices, things like that. I don't really see a lot of DevOps topics out there. There are some. I definitely don't want to discount anyone who's already produced any materials on that. But I think the community could use a good guide on what's best to use for building, for testing, for deployment, and different runtime environments you can use and things like that. So that's going to be something, I don't know. It's going to be out in the next few months. I'm still working on the outline. I haven't got farther than that. But, you know, there's so many tools and technologies you can use out there. You know, you mentioned testcontainers.org. There's a whole world there of technologies that you could use to actually build and test and implement a DevOps solution. And there's Jenkins and there's other third-party tools. And of course, Azure has a bunch of tools as well, Azure DevOps, GitHub Actions, and you know, sorting through all those and figuring out what the best practices are for different scenarios is a big task. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm measuring, what as they say, I'm measuring twice and then I'm going to cut once. So I'm measuring twice to figure out exactly what the best practices should be for all the different scenarios, and then I will produce some videos and documentation and a few other things on that. So that's my short-term goals, is finish the DevOps for Java Shops before I become CEO of Microsoft.
Great. I really look forward to that. And I agree with you that there is such an opportunity for investment in the Java ecosystem. And I look forward to more Microsoft investment. Microsoft's a huge supporter in Java and the Java ecosystem. Brian Benz, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Well done again for the Java Champion nomination. And we look forward to seeing great things come from that. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks. Good talking to you. There you go. Was that all right?